Okay everybody, I thought I'd show you how I am doing my windows, and these are the tools that I'm doing. I have my window frames here, and instead of trying to print the internal resins for them and then put them inside it, I am just putting the resin inside the window frame. So here, bear with me. I have a stopper here, and I have an old airbrush needle here, kind of bent just a little bit at the end. And then I have my clear resin here, right? Any cubic clear. And this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to take there we go. Now I got a dropper full of resin. Lay it over here on a paper towel next to my needle. Close up the resin, get it out of the way. Always have a paper towel handy, and I got one right here. So now that this is done, I'm just going to kind of give this a quick little wipe, clean off the outside of the tube, right? So now we got a nice thing full of resin. I'm going to take my needle, and I'm only going to do 2 at a time. So these have already been pushed down into the tape. This is just painter's tape. And then on the other side, I've pushed it into all the edges. So I am going to do 2 drops of resin, and that's it. And then lay my dropper over on the left, and then push my finger here and just kind of move this around a little bit. Get on the air bubbles out. You want it to sit low. All right, so that's good. And then we'll do the next one. I guess maybe we could try all 4, see if I can get that done. 1, 2. Set it to the side, give it a little push, even everything out down here so it sits. And that one might need a little more. Okay, and then what I am using is this. It's from Harbor Freight. It's for testing for leaks in your piping, and it's at your 406 or 402 nanometer black light that you need. And all I'm doing, turning my black light on and shining it right over where I just needled in some resin. I know this isn't exciting for you to watch on the camera right now, but we have to hold it here for a little bit. It's looking pretty good. Now, mind you, I'm going to try and the longer you hold the light on it, the better chance is that it will harden. You can see on the one just to the left of it that it's glowing there. That's leftover resin from the one that I did prior to recording this tape, or this little clip. So it's probably going to do the same thing, just to let you all know. Okay, so the back side is probably hardened now. All I'm going to do is hold my finger, hold it down, and pick it up off the tape. Notice the wet resin, right? But immediately shine it here so you can see what's going on. Immediately shine it back on this side of the glass. Excuse me. So now you're hardening the front side. That's going to be poking through the model. And this side won't take as much to harden because you already hardened it from the back side. And I think that's about it. There you go. Now look at the finish on that. I don't know if you can see it on this camera or not, but it's like a frosted, all the old-timey window glass, which is, to me, I think it's fantastic. It's like got a big bubble look to it. So when you put this in the model, and you shine a light behind it, it really looks like glass. So that is how I'm doing it. I'm coming back and I'm hardening the last piece of resin that was on the tape so I don't accidentally touch it. These lights, pretty cheap. I think they were $8. I bought 2 of them. I don't have a wash and cure station for doing these resin prints for this stuff, so all I'm doing is shining 2 of these at the same time over a project for the limited time, or for the time needed to harden the resin. So now this is hardened, that's hardened, and I won't have to worry about touching it. And we'll move on to the next one. Only 15 more to go. Okay, I thought I'd give you guys a view about what I'm doing here. I'm creating glass windows with a little bit of air bubbles in them. And I know I kind of showed you once, but this is one of the last ones. It's bigger. This is what I'm using. It's an Anycubic. It's basically for 3D printing resin. This is clear at 405 nanometers, which is the same as what these are for checking pipe leaks. You get this at Harbor Freight, $8. So I am taking an old needle from my old airbrush. With this, I don't really have to worry about it, but my other ones were small. I was putting the dropper on here and letting it drop off into the frame. But with this one, you really don't have to because it's so big. So what I'm doing is doing this in layers. I push down a little bit. This is painter's tape. And I just put a small thin layer all the way across the bottom so the whole tape is covered. All right, just a little bit, just covered. Turn my light on, as you can see, right? And this has a little bit of air bubbles. So I have a little old Burns-O-Matic here. The flame, you just hit it very lightly with the flame on it. Now watch these bubbles in here. Bubbles are gone. And then it dried it a little bit, so I'm going to put a little more resin in here. Bubbles are popped. So now I'm going to hit this with a light, 1, 2, 3, and just wait. You can blow on it to keep it cool because this is resin. There's the bubbles. And now from here you can direct where you want this bubble to go. I kind of want it to go to a top left. So I'm going to poke. As you can see, it's got a small little film on it. You could even try and pop that if you wanted and get rid of it altogether, like that. Or you're just going to add to it. So I'm going to hit it again with light. I'm not worried about the air bubbles. I kind of like the air bubbles that are in them. So that's good. And I'm going to add another layer of resin. And then I'm going to hit that, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it immediately put another air bubble in it though. I mean, that's a big one. So there, I kind of crushed it up a little bit to get rid of that. All right, push one layer down into the other and then fill it up with resin again, and it kind of clear coats it all. Okay, and once you got it pretty solidified on the back side, which this is getting there, you can leave the light on it longer and longer and longer because the bubbles won't keep coming back. All right, so I'm just going to add another little bit on the back to fill it in. Hit it with light again. And then just let it sit on here for about 3 minutes. And I'll be back to you in a second. Okay, after a couple minutes, I'll come back and take the light off. You notice that it's crispy hard there. Now when I peel this off the tape, it's going to be wet. You can see the wetness from the other things. So you're going to flip it over and then hit it with the light. The light's still going. I just peel it off the tape, flip it over, hit it with the light, 1, 2, 3, and then come back with just a little bit of clear on top of this. All right, it doesn't take much. You're just clearing it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now you have glass windows poured into your frames, cured. You can trim off any excess resin that you might have, but I got some right here. All right, just clean up the edges. That's all it takes. So now you can see, I don't know if you can or not, the clear. It is pretty clear, but it's like an old-timey wavy pane glass that's got bubbles in it. So to me, I think that's pretty cool. And if you would take the time, find a better medium than tape, and seal off the front, do a nice low layer, do that, you could probably get away without any air bubbles in it, and it would be almost like a crystal clear glass. But I gotten a little impatient, and to me, I really like this look in the old building. Here, let me show you what it kind of looks like in the building. So if I light this up, you kind of see what I'm going for here. It's got two old-timey panes. It's like the old glass. I don't have these mounted. I just have them pushed in here for now, and then I'm going to mount all this here in a little bit in another video. So that's how I'm doing the glass.